think I'll just leave it on you a while.
Me and Pris are doing the live tonight.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of purring to say.
She's got a lot of purring.
Mm-hmm.
18 folks in here. All right, let's get this thing going.
Let's do the big reveal.
I think they already know.
I don't know.
Welcome to Jtwes Monday Night Live. Thank you guys for tuning in. Got a drink ready.
If you haven't watched the last video, then surprise!
Yeah.
Joey's clean shaved again.
Took a few years off.
Yeah. And you done your hair today too?
Well, I just hadn't been wearing a hat.
Yeah.
My hair's always like this. When I cut it, it's always like
Yeah,
this.
I was gonna say.
And that hasn't changed. Y'all just don't see it because I wear a hat all the time.
And some people haven't even noticed. Oh, there is something different about you.
Yeah.
I mean, he takes a full gray Santa Claus beard off, and some people don't notice.
The order taker at Hardee's this morning noticed.
Oh, did she? Well, you probably see her more than a lot of folks. We've got Timbo in here first tonight.
Hello, Timbo.
And James Thompson become a member.
Mr. James Thompson, thank you, buddy, so much.
Farm Boy 59 is on.
Hey, Brian.
And Janice Simpson.
Hey, Janice.
Says, good evening from Joe and Janice Simpson after a long day of gardening. It's so relaxing to sit down and watch your show.
Joe and Janice.
And she says, where's the cats? Here's one of them.
Yeah, there's one of them.
She's going to be having a itchy spot here in a minute.
We're getting ready to push her off the couch.
And Ollie, he's got a bit of a cold and he's outside, but he's still acting bad, so, you know, he doesn't feel too bad.
I just make sure all of our lights are on. We're supposed to have on.
Yes. Got our live light on.
It's probably just now done with the commercials.
Janice is on.
Hey, Janice.
And Paul Ford. Paul Ford says, happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone.
Hello, Mr. Paul.
Eddie Longest.
Paul noticed.
Your beard? Okay. Mr. John Briggs is on.
Hey, John.
Says, good evening, guys. Good to get that much needed rain.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Because all week, like the past 3 rainstorms that have come, it just goes right around us.
Yeah.
And it even went on both sides of us and joined back up.
Yeah, one of us split it and then come back together after it passed us. It was just a patience thing.
Right. Cornbread is on.
Hey, Cornbread.
Says, my truck license plate reads farm truck. Stan is on.
Hey, Stan.
Stan says, I'm attempting to be on time tonight. Doing nothing all day is exhausting.
I'll be honest with you, Stan. I was a little worried about whether you'd be able to get everything working.
He said, doing nothing all day is exhausting. Who knew?
Yeah.
But that is true. Like, if I have a day where I haven't done anything, I just feel blah, like.
Well, I just feel like
I
feel like I could have done something and I wasted.
Oh yeah, yours is a different. That's a mindset. Mine is like a physical. Like I haven't done anything, you know, all day. Like I've watched TV or just had my glasses on, didn't even put my contacts in. I'm just, by the end of the day, I just feel like I'm dragging.
The only time I feel like it, or don't quite feel like it, it's we're at the beach, but then I want to do something to the RV. Like wipe something off.
Yeah, it's not fun to vacation with him because you always feel like he's bored, like you're bored. William May is on.
Hello, William May.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you had plenty of rain.
We did. Well, I mean, we had 1.5 inches, and you know, I don't think it came down the hardest it could have came down. It came down moderately good, and I was thinking last night about this Jimmy Red up here. You know, I showed you where in the video the seed was still dry and hadn't rotted, just sitting there waiting on moisture. And I feel like that's going to fill the gaps in now. Some of the gaps are quite large. And when I mean quite large of a gap, I mean half the field. But I think that'll come up now. And, you know, guys, I was thinking, I'm probably, when I planted it, I was probably 1.5 weeks, 2 weeks ahead of the game. And now that this rains came, it's just going to be right on time. It's not going, it may be a little bit up and down here for 2 or 3 weeks. When I say up and down, some of the stuff that come up is going to be a little taller than what come up afterwards. But by the time you lay it by, it'll even out.
Heritage Acres is on.
Hey, Heritage
It
Acres.
says, hey, y'all. Orbra is on.
Hello, Mr. Orbra.
And Cornbread said, who's that young man?
Yeah. Thank you, Cornbread.
Mr. T. Hawkins is on.
Hello, T. Hawkins.
Good Monday evening, everyone. Who is that young feller next to you? LOL.
Yeah.
Joey Neal is on. Says, hello, Joey and Leno and everyone. Hope all is well.
Yes, it is.
Sheetwater Kennels is on.
Sheetwater Kennels.
And Robert Mitchell's here too.
Robert Mitchell, our Hollywood star.
No, we went over this last week.
I know, but I just said our Hollywood star.
Okay. Paul's Farm is on.
Paul's Farm.
And Joe with the W.
Joe with the W.
Michael Coleman is on.
Hey, Michael Coleman.
Michael said, hey, y'all, got about 1/4 acre of watermelons and straight neck yellow squash planted Saturday before all this rain in central Virginia.
Good deal. I'm glad you said that. I got to plant the watermelon at the end of that Jimmy Red field, and I hadn't done it yet. I think I mentioned it in my last video. I'm pretty sure I did. I took the 3-bottom plow up there with the 300. It wasn't nothing to record. It just scraped the top of the ground. Something's off on it. I got to figure it out, do some research, but now's not the time to be messing with the plow. That's for later on.
Jen Edgerton is on.
Hey, Jen.
Jennifer Edgerton, excuse me. That's what her name is on here. Good evening. Johnny is at the Quells Unlimited tonight. Thomas and I are watching.
All right.
And Allison's on.
Did she say Quails Unlimited?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. I didn't know I had to talk to Johnny about that.
Allison's on.
Hey, Allison.
Allison says, I'm just here for the beard comments. Yeah, Allison, we already had to discuss this with Allison earlier this week.
Yeah.
So I prepared her.
Allison may kick me off a merch store.
Mm-hmm. Or she'll make a T-shirt with your face on it and then impose a beard on it, you know. Roscoe Morris is on.
Hello, Roscoe Morris.
Says hello, so you finally received some rain.
Yes, Lord, thank you.
Cajun Homestead is on.
Cajun Homestead. They got a bunch of rain down that way.
John Briggs says, oh, Carolyn says, that beautiful cat. Yes, this is our prettiest cat. And she's our oldest. But she's got this long hair that's coming off everywhere.
She's old as dirt, man.
Leave her alone.
I ain't lying, she's old as dirt.
She's an older lady. But she gets around good. She has one little limp and a scratchy voice, and that's about it.
One of my work buddies today, we were finishing up, and he said, you care if I cut out a little early? I said, man, what you in a hurry for? I was just picking with him. And he said I need to take my cat to the vet. And I said, oh, Lord, man, I wish you wouldn't have told me that. I wish you told me you were going to go by Walmart or just go buy a lotto ticket. Anything but take a cat to a vet. I told him, I said, oh, go on, take your cat to the vet.
Paul, did I already say Paul's on? No, Real Fan 90. Paul.
Hey, Paul.
He said, the bad news, work got rained out today. The good news, it didn't interfere with tractor night.
All right, yeah. I didn't get a whole lot accomplished because I got stuck out late and didn't get home to what, 5 o'clock, 5:30?
Yeah.
Something.
Which that's most people's normal time to get home.
And I'll be honest with you, we did get that 1.5 inch rain, but the ground's drying up quick. It's soaked it up. There's probably places I could get the tractor through now if I was pushing to have to do that. I'm not. But I may plant some tomorrow. I may plant some squash and okra and some different things. I think I was talking to Trey, which works for Steele Plant Company, and guys, you know Steele Plant Company is where I get my sweet potatoes from, and the description or the webpage address is in the description of my videos. But I think they're sending some sweet potato plants, so we kind of got to get geared up for that.
Janice said, I ended up with 2 inches rain with this system.
Oh, wow.
And she said, I noticed that you shaved. Warstead is on.
Hey, Warstead.
Hello, everyone. Hope all is well.
It is. It is.
Justin Bentley is on.
Hey, Justin.
And 48 Cub.
48 Cub.
Pat Doak is here.
Mr. Pat Doka. from Arizona.
Got about an inch of rain out here in Arizona, hoping my tomatoes start to turn.
He's already talking about turning. That means they're already on the vine.
Yeah.
Of course, somebody from Texas said that they were picking sweet corn already.
Yeah, it's been a lot warmer there. And Pris is so sweet. I just see myself on the playback there. Look at her. She puts her head
Oh my
and rested
goodness.
on my leg. So
Push her off the
sweet.
couch.
She's just well behaved too.
Push her off the couch.
Paul Ford said, yes, we got some rain and we're going to get a lot more in the next 3 days.
I think sorry for us, Paul, I believe they've said that, a little spotty chance here and there for at least till next week. Today had their biggest chance from what I've seen today. But I'm telling you, with the Weather Channel, that changes by the minute.
It does.
It really does.
Because we were really looking out for rain last week, needed it bad. So.
Oh, it was a couple of days. There was like 100% chance.
Yeah, and like the whole storm, there's high chance of storms, heavy rain, and we never got anything. Allison says, I've unfriended Joey, but luckily I'm still friends with Jtwes. Yeah, she's going to come wearing a shirt next time that says Jtwes.
Yeah. That'd be all right.
Bart Sexton is on.
Hey, Bart.
Hey, y'all from Goldsboro. Thank the good Lord for 3/4 of an inch between Saturday night and this morning. Hopefully all my seeds will pop up now.
Yeah, that was a problem with me. I had quite a few in the ground.
See, look at her.
Lord have mercy.
Aaron Caudill is on.
Hey, Aaron.
Caudill. I don't know if I'm saying his...
Caudill? I don't think we heard that name.
I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, but he's from Kentucky.
Kentucky? Oh, man, we ain't got too many Kentucky. Well,
Joey Neal. Joe with the W says, we have a mess load of rain, and I don't think I'll be able to get in the garden for a few days.
You got a little more than I did, Joe. I was watching some of that rain, and it was hitting the northern part of the county pretty hard.
Janice said, Joey, please check with Roger about his tractor issue.
Oh, he's already told me.
Yeah,
about it.
I thought I heard y'all talking about something. I didn't know what was going on with his tractor. Tim Ezel is on.
Hey, Tim.
Says, hello from Southwest Georgia.
Southwest Georgia.
And Allison said Miss Kate called me today and said the plant's shipped out today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you'll be planting those as soon as possible.
We may try Thursday before choir practice.
Okay. Well, yeah, we only have, 2 rows?
Yes, all I'm trying to plant is 2 rows.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I don't have to ride the planter.
Well, maybe not. I mean, if Will's, he'll be working. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Joe Neal says we got 1.5 inches of rain.
Oh, cool.
And Joe with the W says Dad's rain gauge says 5 inches, but I don't know how accurate that is.
I would think it's pretty close, Joe, because like I said, it was several storms that went across you guys that I've noticed.
And Paul said, I'm hoping it dries out a bit this week. So far, I've plowed the garden and that's it. Got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it's another fella that comments quite a bit on the videos, but I don't think he gets on the live that much. He may watch them. But Nate, I think he is in South Carolina and is really struggling to try to get some corn in the ground, but it's wet on him a lot.
And Paul reminded me, he's working in Western North Carolina. Well, there was a man missing since September when that hurricane came through, and they just found his remains.
Oh, really?
Like yesterday or the day before yesterday. But, I'm happy for his family. I'm sure they presumed he had passed away, but, just never knowing, not being able to bury him. So I'm happy for them. And in a couple of weeks, we will be having the revival, right? So that'll be Monday, May 19th. We will not have a live.
Yeah.
So that's 2 weeks.
It'd be hard to
2 weeks from today.
It'd be hard to have a live then.
Yeah, so 2 weeks from today, we won't have a live. And we'll remind you again next week.
Yeah, and I'll probably put a post up about it too.
So, what else are you doing? What else are you planning on planning?
Well, I got well, Jack. I don't think Jack Graham's in here yet. I will say this, guys. Somebody, Jack Graham. You guys heard that name. He's been on the live and stuff. Whenever I appreciate some of you guys sometimes take up for me, so to speak, but you don't have to. Sometimes
No, do it.
somebody, they'll leave a quite rude of a comment, and as long as they don't cuss in it, I'll leave it there. If they cuss in it, I'll take it off. But it doesn't bother me. A lot of times when I see comments like it, I kind of feel sorry for the person because I think to myself, what type of miserable life are you having that you would talk to somebody real roughly or mean or be smart butt to them, and so. I really do. I really do feel sorry for them more than I do. More than it upsets me. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't upset me. I just like, golly, what a terrible life.
Yeah.
But I noticed, sometimes some of you guys will chime in there pretty hard on them. And even Sammy did, and I deleted Sammy's comment. And I told Sammy, I said, Sammy, do not comment on stuff like that.
Yeah, Samuel Paul was looking out for Dad.
Yeah, I told him, I said, I don't need you to do that.
Which Sam wasn't like going off on him or
No,
anything.
he
just
wasn't,
explained what the guy, because the guy kind of asked like a rhetorical question. He really wasn't looking for an answer. And Sam went on there and explained and said, well, we've got this or that, but I was told Sammy.
He said I like showing off my junk and planting, but never harvest anything. And I thought we harvest quite a bit. I mean, I had a whole load of sweet potatoes last year and tomatoes.
Say, hey,
and
one man's junk is another man's treasure.
Yeah. They just don't know it. Most of these folks watching this live right now enjoy seeing that junk.
Right, they got the same junk actually. Sorry, it's not showroom quality. It's used. It's in the field. It's going to be dirty.
And some of you subscribers have got gardens that have emailed me pictures and stuff. And for the life of me, I'm like, why are you even watching my channel? They got gardens that look like come off of Channel 4, PBS, back when they'd had them garden shows on PBS. And, I'm not saying mine's a slouch, but it certainly ain't as pretty as some of those beds and the things that I see, the pictures they send me.
Anthony Bertrand is on.
Hello, Anthony Bertrand.
Says we expecting between 4 to 6 inches over the next 2 days. Been awfully wet in South Louisiana.
Yeah. I think Danny the other night on the live stream said that it was supposed to be wet up my way for about a week.
Warstead said, hopefully I can get some rows in the ground for corn within the next week in southern Missouri. So much rain.
Yeah, I hope you can, Warstead.
And Joey Neal said, I did get 3 rows of Jimmy Red planted that you gave me.
Hey, that'll work. Hope it comes up.
T. Hawkins says, sounds like it should be a Tuesday night live. I don't know what I'll do with the week without you guys.
I think
goes through Wednesday.
Yeah, it goes through Wednesday. And by the time Thursday got here, it'd be kind of pointless to have one by then.
No, I don't know. We'll see.
We might. I don't know.
We'll see how it is. Let's see. Where was I?
Might have a total other gang of people.
Sundowner. Whoop Whoop is on.
Hello, Sundowner.
And Sundowner says, hey, who's jacking with my family? And Tim said, it's not junk. And Robert said, I have plenty of junk, LOL.
Yeah, I think we all do.
And Joey Neal says, I agree, Lino, we all have the same stuff. And Sundowner says, yes, we do. This is our channel. And Joey got his ears lowered. Yeah, he did.
I did. That's what I used to say anyway.
Yeah. Stan said, everyone has a bad day. I have many. The sad thing is there's so much anger and jealousy in today's world. Just saying.
Yeah, and that could be it too, Stan. Like I said, it doesn't, it honestly, goodness doesn't hurt my feelings or anything. My first thought is always, I kind of feel sorry for them.
Brian B. from Michigan is on.
Brian B. from Michigan.
Enjoying the videos and love seeing the red tractors at work. First time I've gotten a chance to stop by.
Thank you, Brian.
And
That's second person we got here from Michigan tonight.
Sundowner says, y'all not in the tornado watch area, are you?
I-
And I don't think so. I think that was more
Yeah.
east of us today. They were having some.
Oh, were they?
I seen the storm like it was going to be for Person County
Mm-hmm.
and east. And so it looked like a really rough storm, but all I seen
Today?
was at about 3 o'clock. It was just black that way.
I might need to call James.
Yeah, but it was east of us. Robert said, "My garden probably isn't the prettiest, but I take pride in it."
That's right. That's it, Robert. As long as it produces,
Right.
you know?
I mean, if you have like 3 tomato plants and a couple green beans, and you got you a few stalks of corn or whatever, it's still you're still growing your own food. You should be proud.
Everything I've planted has produced. I mean, the only thing I didn't harvest last year was that Hastings, but it had that fungus on it that the Mexicans just love so much. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to taint my seed supply with that fungus because it was eat up with it. I guess if I could have shipped it all down to Mexico, I could have made a fortune.
Bart said, "We love all your junk, LOL. And if it wasn't for you showing how you put some of the things on your tractor, I would have to be guessing. So keep up what you're doing. We love it all." Good-natured simpleton is on.
Good natured simple.
Says, "Hi friends, hi Kitty."
Hi, Kitty.
Yeah. Sheetwater Kennel said, "Joey, I think my Lilliston rolling cultivators are staying on forever. Get the welder out."
Yeah, once you get them on there, well, and I've seen a few comments where folks have said, "Man, you've used the Super A a lot more, than the 140." It seems like in filming, and that's probably some truth to that. But it's really because the 140 will handle the disc, the chisel plow, anything I put behind it on that fast hitch. And I'm still in a situation where I'm needing to cut land. I'm needing the chisel plow. Like I got to plant that cotton, so that's in the Hastings patch. I got to get it cut up, chisel plowed. I'm gonna probably bed it in rows and knock the rows down when I plant it. It's probably what I'm gonna do there. But anyway, I still need that horsepower, so that's why I got the cultivators on the Super A, and you're seeing the Super A a little more because I'm, planting and cultivating with it, and the 140 is doing the big work, so to speak. Am I boring you?
No.
You were yawning over
I know,
there.
not because I'm bored, because I'm tired.
Yeah, and so that's the reason you see it a little more. And I'm hopeful. We got a work day at the church Saturday. I am hopeful. I won't put no fertilizer down because I did it just past Saturday. I'm hopeful I can run through the Jimmy Red again with the cultivators and just kind of stay ahead of that grass.
Joseph Lott is on.
Joseph Lott.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, good evening.
And Bart said, "And for his information, we don't use junk, we use antiques." And Paul says, "I've got some blue corn we're going to try here this year. Figure between the Jimmy Red and the Hastings should have some patriotic corn."
Well,
I was just thinking that.
Leno's got, red, white, and blue. I think Nick.
Blanton.
I think it was Nick. I'm not sure. Somebody gave me some Hopi corn, which is blue, and I don't have it just a little bit, enough for 30 stalks, and I'm gonna try to put 2 little rows of it, 2 half rows of it, even if I have to finish it off with okra or something, so they'll be beside each other like that, and maybe it'll help with them pollinating. But we're gonna plant that, and I got to figure out how to dibble enough Avipel on 30 seeds. We're going to figure out something because I'm telling you, man, guys, when I was cultivating that field Saturday, I had 5 crows just all around the tractor. And what they were looking for was grub worms and stuff, but I didn't see one crow pull the first piece of corn up out of that field. I don't know if that's because they already know that they better not, or what the deal was, but I haven't had a loss of corn for crows.
Farm Life with Avery is on.
Hello, Avery.
It says, "Hey y'all." Hey Avery. Sundowner said, "Did I say hello? Hello, gang. I was getting worked up about people talking about our junk. It saves our butt several times over. Josh Patterson's on.
Hey, Josh.
Says I bought a 186 planter this weekend that came with a toolbar mount on it.
Cool.
I'm looking for a 1-point hitch bolt on mount for it to put it behind my 140. Any idea where I can find one?
Well, I think Agri Supply used to sell the points, and Burch Store sells the points. You would have to rig you up something else, to weld on to it and what have you. I have a little. It's got a foot on it right now, but I have a 1-point rigged up that's got a little 2-inch square bar where I could hang a planter on it. Something that I can hang anything on it that hangs on a 2-inch square bar, and whether that be a planter or a foot or whatever it may be, and it's pretty simple to make. I mean, they're not that bad. Some of those points they sell though doesn't have a stopper on it. You have to weld I think you could weld a nut on it. To be honest with you, you wouldn't have to make one. You could take about a 5/8 nut and weld on it.
That's what Avery said. Josh, you may have to make one with prong from Agri Supply and get a piece of steel and weld the point to the steel. Get holes in the steel to bolt it in the same place the toolbar mount goes.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, Avery.
Yeah, well, he just fixed up a nice little plan.
Oh, Avery, so he's got a lot of knowledge for a young man. Joe with the W says, I agree with Bart. Using this junk makes me personally feel like we're in the 1960s when it was better times.
Yeah, I had a video. I wanted to make a short or something the other day, but Samuel was moving his hand back and forth too much, and I couldn't get it into a short. But I wanted to say something about not using Roundup on that corn, and I was cultivating the corn. This is how you don't have to use Roundup.
Now everyone's referring to their junk.
Oh.
And so it sounds like a t-shirt opportunity.
Yeah.
Because
Jtwes is junk.
yeah, Haggy Farms is on.
Hey, Hager Farms.
And Warstead said, we take our tractor junk to touch a truck show. Some truck shows, the kids love climbing all over them. Probably to teach. I don't know what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
But anyway, Stan says the 50s and 60s did seem like more respectful time. The 70s, things were on the decline, in his opinion.
80s didn't seem that bad, but I mean, it's just.
Yeah, I feel like I have a lot of good memories from the 80s, where things were simpler.
But I can tell you now, man, people absolutely. Case in point, last night coming to church, another example. I need to talk to the North Carolina governor, and I need to talk to President Trump, because this mess about charging teenagers more because of bad driving habits, that's got to go. Because it's spread out through the whole age spectrum now. I mean, from beginning of license to you can't drive no more, everything in between, you have got some crazy people driving.
Yeah, somebody passed us like in a curve, and
it happens like once a trip.
And it's in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. Joe's doing like 61. And then the car stayed in front of us for miles.
Yeah, once they got in front
Why
of
are
me,
you gonna
they
pass
only
us?
stayed 1,000 yards in front of me. And I'm like, it looks to me like if you're going to pass in a curve, double line, that you just be hauling the mail. Mm-hmm. That you just go and get out of sight.
I would think if I pass somebody in a curved double line, I'm running from the police or something. Okay, sorry, I don't want y'all to think I would do that, but like something has to be crazy.
The interstate people just, oh my goodness, it's their interstate and everybody else is just driving around them. I mean, it's get on the interstate at 30 miles an hour, merge into the interstate at 30 miles an hour, then speed up.
Bart said Andy's son planted him some blue corn in his little garden. On their video today, he planted his in a circle.
Oh, cool.
Justin Bentley says, I just went and purchased some junk a month ago after watching you all, LOL, and it's doing a great job.
Yeah, that's Brandon's made a fortune off that junk.
Paul's Farm says planted 1.5 acres, and crows haven't messed with it.
Cool. It is Paul's Farm?
Paul, P-A.
Paul's Farm. Mm-hmm. Did you use any Avipel, or they just haven't messed with it?
Kurt T is on.
Hey, Kurt T.
Good evening from Southeast Louisiana. Hope all is well.
We got to go to Louisiana one day.
I thought I had the wrong channel with Joey's new look. I gave.
It's not a new look. It's actually.
It's back to his original look.
Yeah, that's right. I did tell Lino. I said I do have a little bit of credit, or the little avatar in the corner of my YouTube channel has a picture of me, Lino, Sam, Will, and Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a beard on it, and it's always been there from day one. So.
Yeah, and so Joey only grew the beard in the last
49.
5 years, maybe. And before that, he's never grown even so much as like a little goatee, mustache, whatever.
And hardly had a 4 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
And shave every day.
Mm-hmm. And it's 5 o'clock shadow.
Oh.
You getting there early? 4 o'clock shadow.
4 o'clock shadow. Some men have 2 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, they do. So Joey Neal. Oh wait, I didn't finish Kurt T's sentence.
Oh.
He said, "I gave my only daughter away this past Saturday to
man.
a fine young man. Congratulations to her, Kurt T.
Yep.
I know you guys are all so happy for her."
I gave 2 of my sons away to find, to find young ladies.
And you really didn't give them away. You're like, oh, you can have them, but they got to be able to come back some, you know.
We're still battling it out.
Yeah. Robert Mitchell asked, do you have any videos on changing fluids on the rear ends of the 140?
I don't think I have a video, Robert. I'm sure I have it where I've mentioned where to check them at. But I don't think I have a video where I actually dropped the cover from the bull gear. Which, honestly, Robert, that's just, I don't know, 8, 9 bolts around that cover, drops, clean it out, put your gasket on it, seal it up, bolt it back up, and fill it up till you can touch it with your finger. So it's not real hard. Joey Neal will tell you if you have access to welders and stuff like that, you know, you could maybe weld your drain plug in the bottom of it. So if you ever decided to change the fluid out, you wouldn't have to keep buying gaskets. But, you know, it's not too hard on those bull gears if that's what you're talking about. But I'm pretty sure there's videos. Anytime I mention maybe oil change or service or something in the video, there's probably something about it.
Joey Neal says, it's not junk if you're using it.
Yeah.
Roscoe Morris is on.
Hello, Roscoe Morris.
15 or I think.
You said that.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
Roscoe. Sorry. I forget who I've already said.
I just realized it
Yeah.
too, Roscoe.
15 or so years ago, I took some cornbread I made with blue corn that I grew to a church dinner. It was more a green color than blue. It tasted fine, but none of the kids and teenagers would touch it.
Yeah,
LOL.
I actually did that last year. I took Jimmy Red cornbread and Hopi cornbread, and everybody at church thought it had food coloring in it. And it wasn't until I gave a piece of Jimmy Red to Michael, and of course Michael liked it. You know, he's like, oh, it's good cornbread.
Which Michael likes a lot of food.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen Michael be like, ooh, I don't eat that. Like anything. He eats anything.
Yeah, they enjoyed it after that.
Because he also eats tamales with 2 bites.
I've been trying to, and I'm telling you guys, it's Kennedy, he's not working fast enough for me, man. I want him to put a stop to some of this crazy ingredients, man. Just crazy ingredients. Just like, you know, flour and how they're, it may be using flour, but they've killed the germ in the flour to make it last longer. Because flour by nature that's my boots.
I thought it was Prissy.
No, it's my boots.
God. I thought Prissy had gas. I was like, can they hear that on the live?
No, it's my boots right there. Flour, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but if you was to just grind regular flour and not do a thing to it, it can spoil a lot quicker than what you buy on the shelf because of what's been on the shelf's been heated and germ killed.
Sorry, I lost my place. Oh, Avery says, I'm in the finishing stages of my rolling cultivator restoration project. I'm rebuilding with bearings and etc. I'm also cleaning them and putting some paint on them.
Good deal. I don't ever paint them hardly much, Avery. Which y'all guys have seen that. I do, you know, I watch James Moore sometimes, quite a bit when he has video out, you know, and he just redid this whole trailer this auger trailer that he's got. Absolutely looks good. And I don't paint things that much unless I had to, like that rim I painted for that plow, but I had to wire brush it before I could get the tire and tube mounted, so I had to paint it. But I'm guilty for not painting a whole lot of things. It's like that, like the rolling cultivators. And I got a farm buddy I'm going to hit up for a set of wore out ones. Hopefully he's got a set thrown by the oak tree.
Paul says, people are slacking on that like button tonight. So guys, quit slacking and hit the like button. Timbo says, I hate when people camp out in the passing lane.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I'm a little bit on the passing lane. If you're doing 9 over the speed limit, say the speed limit's 70 and you're doing 79, and you got car behind you flashing the lights and this, that, and the other, and at 79, generally you're passing other traffic pretty good. They're all doing about 72 or 35, somewhere along there. But anyway, I think to myself sometimes at 79 and I'm over in that lane and somebody's flashing me and honking horn. I'm like, well, golly, how fast is fast enough? I mean, we're already doing, both me and you both are already doing 9 over. How fast do you want to go? I'm like, 90, 85? I mean, I don't know. We're already doing 79.
T-Hawka says, Lino, it sounds like you have experience running from the police. No, luckily I don't. I was just thinking, what in the world? Why would I pass in a double yellow line in the curb?
Yeah, it's just impatience is all it is.
Yeah. Paul's farm did use Avipel.
Cool.
And Avery asked, does anyone know where to find a fast hitch potato plow for sale at a decent price?
Fast hitch potato plow. No, Avery, I don't.
I don't think Brandon would have that.
Well, he occasionally does. But I know what he's talking about. He wants something kind of like what I got or what James Moore just got.
Bart says, the crows here like my chicken feed or the goose eggs. Thank the Lord they haven't been a problem with them getting my corn. My problem is deers with the corn once it starts to make an ear.
Yeah, it's...
I wonder if the crows got those eggs. I had 12 or 13 duck eggs
They could have.
at the pond that...
Well, most time they'll peck them and suck the juice out of them and leave the shell.
Well, there was a couple like that.
Yeah, they're not going to eat the shell.
Yeah, most of them were just completely gone.
Yeah, I don't think
so that's why I
so.
thought it was a snake. But anyway, Sundowner said, Lena, they sell fake mustaches and beards on Amazon, just saying. No, I'd rather him not have the beard. When he first shaved
He
it.
could be referring to you running from somebody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know this all turned into my life of crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, when he first shaved, I was like, oh my goodness, it looks like you're missing half your face. You know, I mean, it was just such a part of him and what you get used to, but I'd prefer, I mean, because I think he does look younger and it's just not all that gray. And plus the bit of disheveledness that comes with that, because he'll have his beard and he'll let it get too long, and then his hair's long too, and it'll bush out. And so he's got all, you know, just looks like a wild man. So I like the clean shaven. Timothy Sutton is on.
Hello, Timothy Sutton.
He says, how wide do you make your rows?
44 inches. Well, 44 inches is the goal. I say that, Tim, because I don't know how I did it. I really don't know how I did it, to be honest with you. Still ain't figured it out. I got some rolls. I've been trying to break myself from saying rolls. I have some rows of Jimmy Red corn up here in this field that are about 52 inches wide. Matter of fact, it's that much of a gap between where the back feet run on one row to the other row. There's quite a bit of space there in between. So I don't know what happened there. I thought I was running it back in the same track.
Mark Spradley is on.
Hey, Mark.
Says, good evening, guys, from good old South Georgia.
South Georgia. Georgia boy. Dukes of Hazzard.
Avery said, my planner is on my radar for some paint.
Some paint?
Mm-hmm. T. Hawkins says, Joey, in my city, we have a motto, 9 you're fine and 10 you're mine.
And that's most of the time.
That
That's
is
about what I
usually
set
what-
the cruise control on. Usually about 78. I try to stay off of that 80 mark a little bit. Which I don't have cruise on my work van, so I really have to watch it because that thing gets you in trouble real quick. But it's I'm sure it will get better.
Pat said 85 is the standard speed for the 101 in Phoenix.
Oh man.
Speed limit 70, so they go 15 over there.
Yeah, I'd never do. I mean, I wouldn't do that unless I was in an emergency or something.
Mark said, do you still like your Red Wing boots? I bought a pair of Iris Setters that is made by Red Wing, and that is some of the best boots I've ever owned.
It is. The Irish Setter is really about the same as my. I can't think of the number right offhand. My mock toes. It's not the same as but the Red Wings that you see me wearing in a video every day, but the Red Wings that I've done some reviews on, it's the same as them. Good mock toe boot. You're right. It is a very comfortable boot. Good mock toe boot. And yes, I do enjoy my Red Wings.
Joe with the W says, my wife threatened me if I talk about shaving my beard, LOL. And we have a friend who, her brother-in-law had a beard. She's only known him as having a beard. And he married her sister. So when he shaved, she went off on him. She said that he had catfished her sister, saying that he looked like so bad without his beard that it was catfishing. And she's like, what, man, I can't believe you catfished my sister like that. And I mean, she's a mess. So anyway, Tim Izell said, I bought a fast hitch potato plow from Ag Supply in Moultrie, Georgia. It was about 5 years ago.
Yeah, they did have them. And they still may have a few. I don't know.
Brandon is on from Shelby, North Carolina.
Hey, Brandon.
He says here again, so he's been on before.
Thank you.
Butterfly Farms is on.
Where's Shelby at?
I don't know.
I've heard that a million times. Shelby.
No clue.
I can't decide whether it's the mountains or the beach or midway. Let's know where Shelby's at. I should know. It's my state. I already know.
Well, Brandon said right now they're in Charlotte at the hospital with my youngest.
Oh.
Yeah, I hope your baby gets better, Brandon, whatever's
Yep.
going on. Stan said, having been a channel follower since the beginning, I sometimes fail to remember Joey without a beard. I have noticed the graying over the years. I see the strong resemblance of Will now.
Oh yeah, Willy Woo. That's what it was all about, is getting Rain to like me better.
Yeah, it really was. Because
Rain loves her daddy.
yeah, she is a daddy's girl already at 3 months old. When she sees him, she gets this smile on that scrunches her whole face. And, it's just adorable. And so Joey was jealous and like, I need her smiling at me like that. So he's and she does. She was Sunday, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was smiling Sunday.
Which they'll come over tomorrow, so we'll get plenty of our love in on her tomorrow.
Yeah, I told her I'm just an older version of your daddy.
Brandon said kinda near Charlotte and Hickory.
Okay. I was
So it's
Brandon, I had to go
southwest.
I had to go to a
North
place
Carolina.
called Mint Hill the other day. Never heard of Mint Hill in my life, but we wound up there, and not a bad little place.
And speaking of that, there's Mount Airy that's famous for Andy Griffith's show or whatever. I've never been to Mount Airy.
I drove through it a little bit going to Andy's. I think that's about it.
Yeah, I've never been there. T. Hawkins is a mess. Bonnie catfished me when she shaved hers, LOL. You better watch it. Miss Bonnie's going to get you. Yeah, William May says Shelby is right by Charlotte.
Okay. I knew I'd heard of it. I mean, I couldn't place it right away.
Yeah, because
I'm weak on towns and cities.
Geography. It's called geography.
I'm weak on towns and cities, locations in North Carolina that are kind of in that Fayetteville, Charlotte swing right there on the bottom. you know, say like you went from Charlotte and swung over to Fayetteville.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of weak on all that right there.
Yeah.
I call it that left-hand dip of North Carolina.
I'm weak on all of it. I mean,
I'm
like,
pretty good from there out to the coast, there out to the mountains, but that little dip there
yeah.
is I'm
But
kinda-
you know, I have no sense of direction. Like, I get lost in town sometimes, and I have to put my GPS in because I took a wrong turn and I don't recognize where I'm at. So then, by then, I'm crying to Siri, Siri, take me home. You know.
And I don't know. I call it Fayetteville, but I work with several guys that were in the military, and they always called it Vietnam. I don't know why, but every one of them that seemed like they were based down there, that's what they called it. I mean, I think it's a pretty nice town myself. We had a
No, it is not.
well, I mean,
I
just
mean,
driving through it. I thought it
That's
was a
all I
pretty nice
know of
town.
it too. Just driving through it.
Well-
It's army supply and strip clubs and cars.
I
That's all
didn't-
that's there.
Well, I didn't. I mean, I just drove through it, and
It's a bit.
I seen Apaches on my left,
It's a bit
a
trashy.
nice interstate on my right, but I was going to Rayford, so maybe I didn't go straight through Fayetteville.
Well, because we had to go through there to get Megan when we were at Emerald Isle, and we would go get her from Wilmington.
We didn't go through Fayetteville.
Which army town did we go through?
Oh, that's
Was it Fort Bragg?
yeah. No, that's Pope, I think.
Oh.
It's- yeah, you didn't even go nowhere near Fayetteville.
Okay, well,
She had wrong city, guys.
like I said, I don't know geographical references.
We went from what she's talking about. We went from Surf City down to Wilmington, so we were on. We were that stretch there, so I forgot Jackson maybe, Fort Jackson or something maybe.
Oh,
I think.
Bart says we'd love to see Will and Megan's little girl if y'all don't mind putting her on video tomorrow.
Oh, we might one
Yeah,
day.
yeah, because they don't. I mean, they haven't said anything like, "Oh,
Yeah.
don't put her on your videos."
I thought I'd let Will do it when he's ready, and
We'll mention it to him, Bart. I'm
she's
sure.
been so little here. Well, she's just now getting some emotions to her.
Yeah, Will's not on tonight, but I'm sure he have no problem with
Where's
that.
Will at?
I don't know.
Boy, can't he get on
See,
my
and I
video?
try to tell Joey these boys have their own families and own lives now. Just lay off. Not, why haven't you called me in 2 days? I hear him saying them that. He'll FaceTime him, boy, you ain't called me? You ain't called me in 2 days? So it's usually the mamas who can't cut the cord, especially with sons.
And Sammy need to be getting on back himself.
I know, he's got 15 minutes because he don't have his after nines.
Yeah, Sammy bailed out on me tonight.
Warstead said, married almost 35 years now, and wife has never seen me without a mustache.
Oh wow. Shave it just for the fun of it. See what she says.
We'll be married 26 years next month.
She liked that mustache. If they've been married 35 years, that would be like in Tom Selleck's heyday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
Tom
got that
Selleck
stuck.
is an actor that I've never seen without a mustache. I think he was born with one.
Yeah. I know, and it looks like he could grow his mustache back in a week.
Yeah.
Like it goes, which there's like a SpongeBob reference to that. The bad guy who was in the movie, he could do that. He just would grunt and be like, oh, and it's, because they was talking about how manly he was.
You about ruined my boys with SpongeBob.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. Stan says, Stan, I have to agree 100% about the resemblance. And Sundowner says, and that's my wife. She said I'd better never shave my mustache.
There you go.
And Bart told us happy anniversary.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's coming up pretty soon.
I just said we'll be married 26 years next month.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Bart. Yeah, we'll have our little trip. We're going to stay at a new place that we haven't stayed
Yes,
before.
maybe one of you guys will stay there. What's it called?
Loggerhead.
Loggerhead
Surf
Inn
City.
in Surf City.
Yeah, it's about a block off of the beach.
It's no RV park.
Yeah, well, there is, but it was full.
Yeah, well, we thought about staying at the Laniers or something like that. It's on the-
Laniers, yeah.
It's on the sound side. Actually, on the sound side, on the other side of the sound, more than anything. Anyway, but I told Lena, I said, Lena, time we leave there and have to go drive to a public parking and stuff, I just soon not try to put that white truck in public parking.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a big old boy.
Yeah.
She sticks out there pretty good ways, and I just...
Yeah, and the town of Surf City is pretty small, and the parking there is
Yeah.
very tight. So we can walk from our hotel to the little area where there's a lot of
Lena
restaurants.
don't like taking the sports truck, so it wouldn't be so bad with the red truck, but...
It'd still be kind of rough.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be sticking out 4 foot.
Well, Peden's Junior Produce is on.
Payton?
Peden.
Peden.
Peden's Junior Produce.
Well, hello, Peden's Junior Produce.
It says, hey, Jtwes family. T. Hawkins said, been married 19 years, and she's never seen me with money in my wallet, and neither have I, LOL. Hey, that's a lot of marriages, T. Hawkins.
Yeah.
Sundowner says, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Robert said, I had a beard and a mustache since I was 16, and I'm 65 now and only shaved it one time. Sounds like the Bowers, Trey.
Yeah, I'm not saying I wouldn't ever grow a beard
Trey's-
back, but it'd probably be a little while.
Yeah, Trey's 18, and he's got a full beard.
Yeah.
So I bet he had it when he was 16, too.
Yeah, it'd probably be a little while, guys. I don't have no plans on it right now.
Mark Spradley said, my wife and I will be married 33 years next month,
Good day.
June 12th. Well, happy early anniversary.
Yes.
Yeah, we're June
7th.
7th. Yeah.
Can't believe you forgot.
Well, sometimes I say June 9th because Sam's birthday is July 9th. I didn't forget it. I know I usually know it.
I'm just playing.
Um,
Wait, so Sammy's July 9th, that means it's July 9th, 2008.
mm-hmm.
Because 9 is after 8, and Ellie's 2003 because it's after 4. March 4th, 2003.
I guess, but 3 isn't after 4.
I mean, before it. Like
Okay.
you
Yeah.
Jump down one.
Yeah.
So that's how I learned their birthdays is you got to go down a year from the day.
Tommy Norwood is on.
Hello, Tommy Norwood.
Says, hey, late getting in.
Are you tracking Sam? She's trying to read comments and track Sam at the same time. Where's he at? What road?
He's still on 119.
119?
Mm-hmm. But on the Leesburg side, so
Okay.
he's good. Yeah, Sam's got he got his license, but he's, like on a probationary period. What they do is,
Well, it's just in North Carolina. You can't drive till after 9.
yeah, he can't drive unless it's to work. He can't drive after 9 p.m. So
We got our license at 16 years old.
you good to go.
You could drive from here to California
Oh yeah.
all night. Mm-hmm. Cannonball Run.
Mm-hmm. That's why y'all bad drivers now that you talk about, because y'all didn't have no probationary period, which our generation was kind of. Our parents weren't hands-on like our generation is to our kids.
We didn't. You didn't have the tools to be hand-on.
Well, you could have kept us
No.
with your parents, saying, "Oh,
No,
you're
what
not
I'm
allowed to
saying,
go
you
here."
didn't have the tools. You didn't have the phone to track them. You couldn't call them. If you said that you were going to town, you just said okay and waited till 3 hours and hopefully they showed up. That's all you could do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I mean, you could, if you had to, you could stop at a phone booth and, if you were at Bain's store, you could say, Bain's store is calling, will you accept the charges? And then, you hang up, they're at Bain's store.
Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous. Well, and I know, like, in the late 80s or early 90s, if you needed your mom to come get you and it was long distance, you'd be like, call collect. And when it says, do you accept a call from, and when you're supposed to say your name, say, Mom, come get me, or Mom, come get me from Jennifer's house. And then you would say no, but you got the message to your mom. It says, come get me from Jennifer's house,
That's what I said. You call collect from Bain's store.
Mm-hmm.
Do you accept charges? No. You're at Bain's store. You need help.
Right. Well, I forgot about that until you just said that. Allison said, Sydney begged Trey to shave, but that's a hard no. Nikki had his beard since 1994, so Trey learned from the best.
There you go.
Yeah. Bart said, happy anniversary, Mark Bradley.
Mark Bradley.
John Briggs said, I had to shave one time for work many years ago.
John said he's going to shave again.
Is he?
No.
Oh, no.
He ain't.
Joe with the W said, my wife and I will be married 8 years, June 3rd, and we'll be going to the beach this year to celebrate it.
Wow, congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
That's just a few days for us.
Sundowner says, LOL, I never had a license but drove everywhere and anything. Then at 18, the officer wouldn't give me a license until I told him how long I'd been driving. Yeah, like I don't even remember that either. Like when I got my license, I just had to prove I went to driver's education. I didn't have a log or hours of how much I've driven, you know, like they do now. You have to log everything.
Got my license on a 64 Chevrolet with 3 on a tree. It had a skip in it.
Mark Phelps says, good evening. Had good time playing on Super A, but headed to Birchbridge Tractor this week to get ready for this week.
Well, Mark, don't spend too much.
And Avery's saying, good night, all. Good night, Avery.
Good night, Avery.
I know you're getting happy it's getting the end of the school year. I know Sam is. Tommy Norwood said, happy anniversary. Me and my wife will be married 42 years in August.
Good gracious, Tommy.
I've had a beard for over 40. So I think they're trying to say that the beards equals long-lasting marriage. You might have jinxed us.
I don't know. Ask Pat Ducker. He ain't got a beard.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know who has beards and don't. But it is nice to see all these long years of marriage.
It is. You got to look at the type of people here, too, Punky. I mean, the type of fellows
Yeah,
that watch the channel.
yeah. Carrie Nix is on.
Hey, Carrie.
Says, hey, from Texas. Hope you got some red on the Jimmy.
We did.
Jimmy Red.
We did. Got some rain on it. And I'm looking for that dry corn to sprout.
I'm glad you know what that meant because I read it just like it was written. Sorry, Carrie. I tried to catch that. They meant rain.
Yeah.
Got some red on the Jimmy Red.
I knew what he's saying.
I'm like, does it turn red? Like
Well, Jimmy Red is red.
I know, but I thought maybe it comes up white and then turns red.
It does make the cob white as can be. It doesn't start turning red till it starts drying down.
Paul said, I need a 3 on the tree in my life.
Yes.
LOL.
You had potential of one, Paul.
No, I need.
He's got the truck that I got my license in.
I need 2000 circa 2000 Jeep Cherokee square body style in my life. I had one and Joey sold it out from under me.
You want a? I didn't sell it. I traded it for the red truck.
Well, whatever.
It's money down. Tahoe. You was wanting Tahoe.
Oh, well, that's big time. I was just thinking small time with this Jeep.
You wanted a Tahoe so you could get a rebuilt engine free from GM. They just recalled a ton of engines.
Did they? Well,
Did you lose your place?
yeah.
Oh.
T. Hawkins says, good evening, everyone. That message is for next Monday. That's the only way I'll be first. He's such a clown. Warhurst says, Older Iron Show in Kabul, Missouri this weekend. Nice show for older stuff and tractor pulls, too.
I'd like to go to a few shows, but man, every Saturday, Lena will tell you, if we don't have something with church, I got something big I need to do, cultivating, mow grass. I just, I just don't hardly have the time to do any of that.
Janice says, happy anniversary, everyone, and good evening. Enjoyed my weekly date night.
Thank you, Janice.
Thanks, Janice, and thank you for the gift you and Roger brought over. Ellie and Kaylee loved it. Paul said, mine's a factory 4-speed.
Paul, I thought yours was 3 on the tree when it started.
Joey Neal says, Joey, do you ever talk to Pat from around the shop? Just curious if everything's all right. Haven't seen a video from him in a while.
Yeah, I did talk to him back. I hate to mention the times, but back during the hurricane, after the hurricane, he was wide open doing rescues and opening up roads and running a track hoe. And we'll probably call him maybe next week or something, just check up on him. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, he was very high demand with
Yeah.
his knowledge and what
Equipment.
he does. Yeah, his equipment. And Mark Spradley saying, good night, friends. Talk to y'all next week.
Oh, is it 9 o'clock?
Yes, I think it's time to say good night to everyone.
Well, I'll let you.
Y'all know I've already been hiding my yawns from you.
Yeah, she has.
But it's been a long day for me.
Oh, yeah. I just now see myself on the live.
He's gonna see how he looks on the live.
All right,
guys.
see, Allison said, I told Trey, I'm glad I didn't get the 6.2 Tahoe. Yes, Allison, that's the engine.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Almost waited for one of those instead of getting my Tahoe.
Yeah. So Allison's isn't recalled then. That's good.
Yeah, Carolyn, John Briggs said Carolyn had a 97 Jeep Cherokee. She loved that thing. And it had
yes.
297,000 miles on it. Ours was a 2000, wasn't it?
2000 even.
We liked it too. That thing, it
would take you anywhere.
Yeah, we took it to Corolla, and to get to Corolla in North Carolina, you got to go 6 miles up the beach. But
Yeah.
anyway, and Allison, yeah, you're right. It was an oil issue with those engines. They actually changed. I've never seen a company do this. They changed the viscosity of the oil. That's the recall. To go from a 0W20 to a 0W40. That's a pretty big jump. But anyway, all right, guys, thank y'all for tuning in. God bless you. God loves you. We'll see you.
Bye.